Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and I know you guys haven't seen much of the mezzanine, but it is coming together slowly, piece by piece. We're up on the mezzanine on the first floor, and this is going to be where most of our videos are going to be started, and this is going to be a bit of a content space. Now, we've got something a little bit special and a little bit different today. Before I go any further with the video, I do want to say that this is a paid-for video sponsored by OnAir Suspension. Now, all the Defenders that you see that we install the air suspension kits on is OnAir Suspension. And they've come out with a new Ford Ranger kit, and we've worked on Rangers here and there, but you guys have never seen it. So they've got a brand new 21 plate Ranger here today, and then new rear airbag suspension kit, which we'll be installing and reviewing and just basically seeing what the kit's about. Now, these Rangers are becoming more and more popular, more people are modifying them, more people are jumping into them because of the tax benefits, and they're a great all-round vehicle at a great price. Now, one of the problems we do have, obviously, is a ladder frame chassis, and you've got a bed on the back. And they're obviously a leaf sprung vehicle. So they're a very nice vehicle and up to date, but obviously the suspension on the back, if you're throwing the kids in, you're not really using it as a utility pickup. The rear suspension has a lot to be designed for. You're gonna get a lot of that juddering and a lot of shaking because it is a leaf spring designed to be loaded up. Now, OnAir have designed a suspension kit which converts this to a trailing arm, a panhard rod, and a set of rear airbags. So the rear end of this vehicle is gonna be really nice and comfortable. So let's go down, we'll see the cars, and I think they're just pulling in now actually. Now, before we get started, I'm actually going to put on, they've given us a load of merchandise, which I'm really happy with actually. They've got the old school mesh trucker hats, which I really like because they keep your head cool, whilst you're underneath the truck and stuff like that. And they've got some super cool t-shirts as well. So, I'm going to get changed, and I'll see you guys in a bit. Do you know what, these are quite soft actually, I'm quite jealous.
It did feel quite soft.
The hats are nice as well.
Right, let's go get mine on.
I'll ring up the suppliers.
What, me getting changed?
Oh, you getting changed too?
Well, where else am I going? Record.
Look, it's tattoo. That's not a tattoo. So guys, this is the Ranger that we've got to deal with today, and it's so weird seeing a Ford here, but obviously at one point Ford did own Land Rover, and obviously the TDCIs are a Ford engine in a Defender. It's going to be a bit interesting working on this today because I've only worked on one or two, and so has Leon. But they do look cool. I do like a pickup truck. I do like the Rangers and how much tech they've got. Problem is the ride, but we'll have a look around this thing. This one's a pretty high spec as well. It does look really cool, and we'll take it for a drive and see what it feels like. See if we can notice the rear leaf springs and see if we can, realise why this kit has been created, and hopefully we can grab a test as well before and then after. So let's have a look around the car. Okay guys, so we're used to installing the OnAir Defender kit, and obviously this is their latest kit for the Ranger, and there's a few things that we recognise in the kit. We obviously recognise the compressor, the airbags, the res tank, but there are a few differences to this kit because obviously it's a different vehicle. We've got some rear shock absorbers included in the kit. We've got some trailing arm, they're a trailing arm conversion kit?
Trailing arms, yeah, to replace.
So we're going from leaf to trailing arm, so these are some like conversion arms, is that what we call it?
I suppose so.
A panhard rod to obviously keep the axle centralised. A cross member, I'm guessing these are like some chassis wrap sort of situations, and then obviously we've got our wiring and our control panel, etc., etc. The instructions look quite hefty, and I'm sure we're going to be good friends with those instructions. But I think the first thing we're going to be doing is obviously raising the vehicle, checking out what we're dealing with on the rear end, and stripping off the rear springs, and wow, stop. I'm guessing it's leafs off, fake leafs on,
Yeah.
them on, bags on. Pretty, I suppose, not similar to Defender, but we can kind of make sense of it already. Which is obviously leafs off, bags,
Some bits to move out of the way and that.
some bits to move out the way. Let's get this Ranger in the air and get this kit fitted. Okay, so we've just had to take out some washers which kind of centralise the bolt for the AdBlue tank. We want the AdBlue tank as far back as possible just to give us room on this installation when we install the cross member and the panhard rod. It's just basically to give us some room because we're going to be working around this corner. So we've just moved that all the way back, and so far so good. It's nice to have some bolts that actually come loose straight away. Okay guys, so that's the leaf springs removed. And they're such a heavy piece of equipment and they're just set up for pure weight. So I can't wait to see us basically install our new trailing arms, our panel rod. We've got all our brackets installed to the chassis. So now it's pretty much our trailing arms. We can just do the bags and then it's just compressor lines, all that kind of stuff. So it's going all right so far. It's going pretty easy. And it's nice just the car to come apart nice and easy. We used to rust and wax saw, but this is going pretty easily. Feet up over here, yeah? Okay guys, we've got all of the hardware mounted. We've got our whole rear air spring set up, our new rear trailing arms, our panel rod mounted. We've mounted our compressor, we've mounted our bags. It's all coming together now. You can actually see now how the kit works, which is really interesting because you can kind of see its new setup. We've got our new height sensors mounted up here, which are attached to our chassis brackets. It's really cool learning how this actually now works. Got a bump stop, so the bump stop doesn't hit the chassis, like a rubber pad. Our new airbag here, our trailing arm. So now the suspension is all acting back here, and a different rated shock absorber. And that's going to aid in the comfort of this, along with our rated spring bags here. So this is all the hardware mounted, and we're literally now, I'm just doing the compressor breather hose. Leon's just starting on the air lines, and then it will just be the wiring, and we can see this thing in action. So guys, it's the next morning, and we've done all of the hardware now. All the lines are plumbed in. We've temporarily inflated the bags because we want to bring it down just to do the electrics, all the stuff inside. We've got to remove the passenger seat. We don't want to be doing it on a two-post lift because it'll be in the way. So we've temporarily inflated the bags, and all the lines are running to the valve block. The compressor's installed, our res tank's installed, our spare wheel's also back up. All of our height sensors are correctly adjusted. Of course, we've got to calibrate this thing, but we're literally going to do the boring part, which is putting the wiring harness up to the engine bay. We'll put the wheels on, bring it back down, and then we can finally calibrate this thing. And yeah, go for a little spin, see what it's like. Okay guys, we've got Dan from OnAir, and he is one of the directors and one of the creators of this kit. So he's here just to help us calibrate and just basically make sure that we've got this Ranger set up absolutely perfect. So we've gone all the way to the top, and Leon's manning the computer here. We're just doing some measurements, and we can get this thing perfectly calibrated so we can have our kind of access mode, our normal road height, and then our sort of off-road height. So very similar to Defenders, and just making sure we've got everything perfect here. But it's cool just to see this thing drop down, because usually these things are lifted right up at the back. And it's just nice to be able to try and sort out this road height that we've got going on here. And of course, whilst adding some comfort. Okay guys, so we've fully calibrated our system and the installation is now finished. Now I'm using this handheld controller because that means I can stand outside and I can talk about it, but we have mounted the control panel. If you come around here, you can just see where we've mounted the control panel, which is, you can just see the up button, which is just in front of the gear stick. So you've got up and down just there. Now, on the Defender, we would have access mode, normal road going mode, and then off-road. Now we haven't set an access mode in this as such, but we've set a loading mode. So when you're putting stuff in the boot, because we haven't got the front coils on this, there's no point in us being able to slam the rear of it. So what we have done is we've made a bit of a lower function. So we'll bring it down now. So this is going down into our loading mode. You can see it drop down now. And this means that we can easily get stuff into the boot, heavier items. See what a difference this makes in terms of loading heavy goods straight in, or you can just sit here with your feet on the floor as opposed to your feet dangling. So this is what we've set as our loading mode, which I think looks really cool. It's cool seeing this thing all adjust. It brings it again up to date. It should be up to date. So we'll bring it back up to driving height. So cool. So that's how it's going to be rolling around all the time. Quite similar to where it used to be, but it is a little bit lower, just allowing for that, before when it had the nose down right up in the air. And then we've also got the top end of it, we can go up again, and this will be if you're loading it really heavy, you've got a heavy trailer on, something like that, or you're using it off-road and you don't want the back to be knocking around. So you can see the difference here. My feet are now dangling, and this is the whole difference. And the good thing about this system is that if you want to put a heavy trailer on the back, the height sensors will lift it back up to where it should be. So you're not going to get that sinking look into it. When you load up coil springs, it's going to just sag, when you've got something heavy, and this will remain at the same height, and the bags will retain their pressure, as well as adding all the comfort. So really, really cool. So again, just to show, this is at this high setting, and we'll send it straight into its lowest setting. This should just be on here for standard. This is just so cool. That's going to be its lowest setting, and again, that's just for putting your stuff in the boot. Obviously it knows exactly where each side of the corner is, and it's just going to be a hell of a lot more comfortable when this vehicle's going down the road without stuff in the boot. You're not going to get that jumping feeling, and just for the sake of it, we'll go back up into road mode. It's a lot faster than Defenders. I like how fast this one is, because it's only got 2 bags to fill. But super cool. I guess the next thing now is take it for a spin, see if it's made any difference. Okay guys, so now is proofs in the pudding. How does it actually feel on road? Whoa!
Incredible.
Do you know what, even there, that is smoother on the back.
It doesn't feel so jittery, does it? Like,
That's the thing, yeah, you can usually feel the back of the bed wandering around. Let's do the same route back up to the farm, because that's where we had it previously. It feels smoother. I feel like the bed was hopping around quite a bit, because obviously it was
not a lot of
set
weight
out,
in the back,
it's
is there?
unladen, yeah, whereas this actually feels correctly sprung. I tell you what,
that's actually really nice.
it feels more, hang on, let's get some proper bumps going. It feels more like a car.
Yeah, you still get a little bit of.
You can still feel the bed's loose on the chassis.
But it's a pickup, so.
See there, that would have been really tough over it. That's a nice feeling setup, I think. I mean, we're still on front coils, so there's not going to be a ridiculous difference like the Defenders. But that's a nice feeling rear. Go all the way up. Not faster. So guys, that is our installation of the OnAir suspension kit for the new Ford Ranger 2021 kit. And this is just a rear kit so far. And I think it's really cool. It's made a big difference. It's made a massive difference to its versatility in terms of loading, putting trailers on the back, etc., and the overall comfort of the kit. Tell us what you guys think in the comments below. Did you like the install? Do you think it's a bit too much for these vehicles? Would you have personally done it? What do you guys think of the Ford Ranger? I'm still unsure about it, you know. The gearbox feels like it's a little bit, I don't know, could do with a remap or something. It feels a little bit revvy. I do like the trucks though. It can't get near a Defender for me. There's something we're all obsessed with the Defenders, but these can't get near it. But I do like the Rangers, and it'd be silly of us not to kind of think about other trucks and stuff for the future. It's a cool vehicle, and it comes at a great price tag. I just feel like that rear end kit that we've installed has just brought it up to a bit of date, because that rear axle end is all well outdated stuff. So it's nice to put a bit of modern tech into it again, which is really cool. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe, and a huge thank you to OnAir Suspension for sponsoring this video and the install. Check them guys out with the links below, and we'll see you guys for the next interesting video.